Hey. Yeah, listen, you're in my house.
So you heard the cheers from the crowd there, but I do want to remind folks that the president was calling out a transgender, undocumented woman of color, and that it actually isn't his house. I mean, I appreciate, I get people, again, this is the point about like that presidential swagger, but it's my house. Right. It's our house. Like, this is a little bit like it's actually the people's house, and I'm down for talking tough, but I don't know, to the most marginalized person in the room, how tough that feels to me.
All right, there you go. This is fascinating. This is a fascinating study. Melissa Harris Perry and her left-wing panel. By the way, didn't I call out the president the second he said, you're in my house, that it's our house, it's not his house? Okay, that's number one. But they're getting on him because he dared to shout down and say it to a, what'd she say, transgender, undocumented woman of color. That's the best person you could be in the world. In Melissa Harris Perry's mind, a transgender, undocumented woman of color. Hey, runner for president, baby. So she's upset that Obama dared to yell at this great, wonderful person, which is like, 7 things wrapped into one. Watch.
That's part of Obama's legacy, is this incredible complexity of, on the one hand, greatness, add to that, greatness thrust upon him that he's able to do something with, and then on the other hand, first he's the president of a multi-international corporate military empire, and he has moments like this which show great insensitivity and an inability to kind of see certain intersections that we would hope he might do.
All right, if this, instead of a transgender, undocumented woman of color, it was a Tea Partier saying, hey, Obama, go back to Kenya, or something, right? Well, Melissa Harris Perry, they would have applauded Obama. But you don't yell and raise your voice to a undocumented transgender woman of color. Sorry, more.
It's odd in the just days now following that Friday eulogy to think of the president as insensitive, where he showed such great empathy, such a capacity to do the rhetorical work of tying us together as a united states. But that moment was one, and again, less of, some about him, but also more about the cheer that goes up from the crowd, our enthusiasm about seeing this president who's been so embattled fight back. But I'm thinking, but that's not the person I want you fighting back against.
Oh, you don't want to fight back against that kind of person. No, you want to give that person, the undocumented transgender woman of color. Yeah, I got it all in. I got confused for a second. You want to give them some kind of medal, not shout them down. More.
I always, watching him this week, I was having these moments of saying, wow, when he's gone, I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss that there's an African-American man in the White House, an African-American family in the White House. And yet I also am a conflicted, person on the left who feels frustrated by, as I always think of, like, drones, deportation, horrible history with whistleblowers. It's a really complex legacy. And I think one of the things that makes it hard is he's such a clearly intellectual, thoughtful person. And there's a way in which the kind of ideological affect of someone like George W. Bush or Reagan, where you weren't sure what they were tracking. But with Obama, the depth of his thinking and the quality of his mind. And so when there's a failure, it hurts in a particular way.
Yes, when that failure involves a transgendered, undocumented woman of color, it's painful. Now, remember the eulogy Obama gave where I said in the newsroom, he's putting on his reverend right, in my view, bigoted, anti-American reverend whose church he sat in for 20 years in Chicago? Watch.
And in the way that he delivered the Pinckney eulogy was really Jeremiah Wright arriving into the fullness of his grandeur, because that's
we wanted him to say it about. We wanted him to say it about
tradition.
That's right.
We're not going to let him get away with diminishing that what he channeled in that moment was what he learned in Trinity Church.
What he learned in Trinity Church. Of course, the truth is he never really went to the church. He just joined it to get street cred, as I've been told by, I think it was Richard Wolff who wrote the book. But Obama made believe he went to that church, and he made believe he never heard Reverend Wright say the chickens came home to roost and we deserve 9/11. But I said he channeled Reverend Wright, and now they're saying he channeled Reverend Wright. I'm so ahead of my time. Have a good night, everybody.